Finally made it work.
Okay, honey.
All right, you're good. You can start. Let me just copy this. You can start talking. You're on now.
Oh, okay. Are you putting it on here?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, just one second. Yeah, you're on.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mobility Flow Live. I'm happy to have all of you here today on this finally, excuse me, which seems like a spring day finally. So for today's Mobility Flow Live, this one's going to be a little bit of a tough one. I'm kind of dreading doing it myself, to be honest, because I have to talk and do it. But it's going to be a fun class. So this is going to be a full body strength flow. And again, a lot of the movements that we're doing today are going to help to strengthen a lot of those big muscle groups in different ways that weight training cannot do. So we're doing this, in a full body weight capacity. You're only going to need 2 blocks for this practice. And some of the movements are going to be sort of isolation work. We'll be focusing on kind of like one muscle group, like for example, the glutes. But then a lot of what we're going to do today is going to be kind of like a flow where we're going to move from one movement pattern to the next. And again, just exploring how to create full body tension, which is the key to moving well, is learning how to control your body and control your body in space. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I know we started a little late, but I think we're kind of good to get going. So we're going to get started right away. So again, you're just going to need your 2 blocks, and that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and just start down on our back. And we'll maybe do about just like 30 seconds of breathing or so, just to allow some people to filter in. So go ahead and pop down on your back. Take both of your blocks with you because you're going to need them when you come on your back. So go ahead and prop down there and just have both those blocks handy. All right. So we're just going to start with a little bit of a breathing technique just to get the abdominal muscles fired up. So you're going to go ahead and grab one of your blocks and you're going to go ahead and place it upright, sort of in a vertical position, right kind of below your belly button. So we're trying to target the low abs. And if a lot of you, I know you work with Bilal, my husband, he'll talk about this breathing technique as well. So today we're going to apply it, but we're going to do a little bit more with a block instead of a weight. So you're going to go ahead and take your hands and place them on top of that block. And feet are going to remain on the floor. Now I just want you to take a few breaths for a moment. Just a few inhales in and out through your nose, just kind of ignoring where the block is. And probably what's going to happen for a lot of you is you're breathing, your breath is going to be located in the area above the block. So you're going to be more towards the rib cage, more towards the higher part of the abdomen. And for a lot of you, your block may not be moving at all. Now, again, not that this is bad, just when it comes to creating full body tension, we want to learn how to move the lowest part of our abdomen as well as the sides of our waist. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to apply a little bit of pressure to that block. So I want you to push it down a little bit into your low abdomen. And as you take an inhale, I want you to think of pushing your block up or out, almost as if you're trying to forcing those low abs to make a pregnant belly. So I'm going to go ahead and take an inhale and push my abdomen out until my block rises. So the breath is no longer sort of up here, it's more those low abs. Then as I exhale through my mouth, I'm going to push that block down into my abdomen. So we're relieving something called intra-abdominal pressure, which is going to help us a lot during today's class. We're doing a lot of abdominal work. So we're going to take about 5 of these. So I'm going to apply pressure to that block. I'm going to inhale, make that pregnant belly. Exhale through the mouth. Push down. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You see my block moving. Exhale. 2 more there. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Great. All right. So we're going to get right into it today. That was our warm up. So I'm going to go ahead and take both of my blocks and I'm going to put them underneath my feet, kind of wearing them kind of like shoes, but I'm only going to keep my heels on the block. So I'm going to flex my feet. So anything on the block is my heels. Now, if you feel like your neck is in a big arch position, both of your blocks are taken, go ahead and grab a pillow or something and just support the back of your neck. Now, with your heels only on the block, I want you to push your heels down. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to create tension in our abdominals. So we're going to take our butt and we're going to tuck it underneath us until we start to feel like we can push our low back in towards the floor. Everyone's going to be different. For me, I have to do it a lot because I've got a big lower back arch. For you, you might only need a little. So you're scooping underneath you until you can push that low back in towards the floor. You're going to take your arms up over your chest, push down towards the heels, and you're going to start to lift your butt up off the floor as high as you can without letting your low back arch. So I'm maintaining that scoop of the butt underneath me as I maintain my arms up. Now, I want to think about pushing my knees together without knocking them as opposed to spreading them open. And that's going to fire up those inside quads, inside hamstrings. And as you're holding this position, you might already feel like your legs are shaking a little bit. I know mine are. If your low back is arching, you're going to feel a lot more here. So keep that butt scooping underneath you. Now, maintaining that, you're going to slowly lower the lower back and the bum down towards the floor. Good. And we're just going to keep doing this. So I find the little scoop underneath me. I push down through my heels and I lift up as high as I can without letting my low back arch. And then I want to feel like I'm knocking or hugging my inner thighs together as I firm those outer hips in. And then with control, I come all the way down. So I've only done 2 and I'm already wishing I didn't have to do more. So scoop the butt underneath you, press through those heels and start to drive up. Again, if your low back is arching, we're not working those glutes. So scoop the butt underneath you. If you're having a hard time scooping underneath you, you're lifting too high. And then lower down. Good, let's keep going here. Scoop, lift. Inner thighs, think that we're drawing them towards one another as we scoop that butt. Good, and lower. Keep going. Scoop, lift. Outer hips are lifting. Inner thighs are squeezing. Rib cage is remaining down. Good, lower. Good, let's do a couple more here. Scoop underneath. Drive those outer hips up, hold. Good, and lower. Good, scoop the butt underneath you, drive the outer hips up, hold. And lower, 3 more. Scoop underneath you, drive the outer hips up, hold. Good, and lower. 2 more here, scoop underneath you, drive the outer hips up, hold. And lower the lower back and the hips together. Last one, scoop underneath you, drive the outer hips up, hold. Scoop, 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 squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, and lower everything down. Now, shake your legs out. For some of you, you might have gotten a cramp in your hamstring. Maybe you can't cramp in your calf. That's completely normal. It's just your muscles saying, whoa, this is a lot of tension for me. And that's completely normal. So now what you're going to do, my blocks are a little wide, sorry. So now you're going to put your feet flat, okay? And we're going to do the exact same thing. Now I want you to really think about using your big toes as opposed to your heels. So I'm going to push those big toes down into the blocks, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, if you felt like having your arms up made you feel wobbly, put your arms on the floor. Totally fine. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing. So now I'm going to push through those big toes. I'm going to scoop underneath me as I push that low back towards the floor, and then I'm going to drive up. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different sensation. Now you're really going to be able to hug those inner thighs. So I want you to feel like you're trying to bring them towards one another without letting your knees knock together. So I want you to keep squeezing. And as you keep working to squeeze, you're going to really feel those inner thighs doing a lot of work. Hold there. If your knees are flopping out, this is going to feel like nothing. So really squeeze and scoop that butt. Hold. And then without arching, go ahead and lower down. Good. Again, little scoop, drive up, hold. Squeeze those inner thighs. Let the butt scoop underneath you. Try not to let that low back arch. And then as you lower, feel like you're lowering your lower back and your butt together. Again, scoop and lift. Ooh, my hamstrings are on fire here. Push into those big toes. Squeeze those inner thighs. Try to find the inseams of your legs without arching. Lower down. Good. Again, scoop underneath. Drive up through those outer hips. Squeeze together, squeeze together, squeeze together, squeeze together. Good. Lower those outer hips down. Good. 5 more here. Scoop underneath you. Drive up. Hold. Now keep thinking. Squeezing those inner thighs. The more you squeeze the inner thighs, the more you're going to get those inside hamstrings. So important. Lower down. Good. 4 more. Scoop underneath. Drive up. Push into those big toes. Squeeze those inner thighs together. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, you're arching or lifting too high for your structure. So lower down a little bit. And then lower. Whew. 3 more. Scoop and then push and drive up. Hug those inner thighs. Scoop the butt underneath you. Good. And then lower. Good. 2 more here. Scoop underneath. Squeezing your thighs. From a mobility standpoint, we're working on something called hip extension, which a lot of us are lacking. That's why it's hard to find our glutes. So this is super, super important. Lower down. Ooh, my hamstrings are cramping. 1 more. Scoop underneath. Push through the feet. Drive the outer hips up. Hold. Squeeze. Good. And then carefully lower on down. Yeah. Good. Whew. Give your legs a little shake. Okay. So you're going to need both of your blocks for this. So go ahead and just kind of grab them out from underneath your feet. Hopefully you're feeling some work in the back of your body. Now, you can put a block behind your head. Honestly, it's really up to you how your neck feels. Maybe play around with both and just experiment with what feels better. For me, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to put it there for argument's sake. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put the other block and you're going to squeeze it in between your inner thighs vertically. Okay. Now, there's 2 priorities of the movement that we're going to do here. First priority, squeezing the block and maintaining the squeeze on the block the entire time. Second priority, pushing that low back in towards the floor so we feel tense in our abdominals. Think about a plank position. You don't want to be arched in a plank position. You want to be hollow. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze my block. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop my butt underneath me until I can push my low back in towards the floor and feel my abdominals tense. Okay, then I'm going to take my arms up. Now, pushing the low back in towards the floor, I want to bring my legs up to 90 degrees. And if your block feels like it's too low, go ahead and adjust. Now, as I push that low back in towards the floor, I have to maintain that the entire time. And I'm going to squeeze my block, flex my legs, or my feet, and all I'm going to do is take my heels and tap them down towards the floor slowly for a count of 5. So I'm going to lower for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you can maintain your low back on the floor, your heels will actually tap. If your low back comes off the floor, you need to hover. Then I'm going to pull my legs up for 1. So I want you to maintain those 2 priorities. Squeeze the block. Second priority, low back in towards the floor. So we're going to do a couple of these. So I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to lower for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull up 1. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull up 2. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoo, really push that low back into the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 4, squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5, squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 6, almost there. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Maintain those 2 priorities. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Last one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Relax. Good. Now, if you didn't feel like your abdominal muscles were going to explode, one of 2 things isn't happening. You're either not squeezing the block enough, or 2, you're letting your low back pop up off the floor. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time, but we're going to do something in between. So I'm going to keep in mind of that priority. So now I'm gonna get rid of that block. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my right leg, I'm gonna pull it in towards my chest. Okay, I'm gonna take my arms up over my chest. Now we're gonna lift to hollow the shoulder blades. So I'm gonna push the low back in towards the floor, and I'm gonna round myself up like I'm doing a sit-up. Now, the more I pick my shoulder blades up, the less I'm gonna feel in my neck. So you gotta really pick those shoulder blades up, tuck the chin slightly. Now I'm gonna lift my left foot and I'm gonna extend it out in front of me. Don't bring it too low. Bring it high enough that you can maintain your low back in towards the floor. Now what I want you guys to think about doing is reaching your legs in opposite directions. So pull your right leg towards you as you reach your left leg away from you and keep pulling that right knee in for 10, 9, round those shoulder blades, 8, pull it in as if you're trying to touch it to your nose, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ugh. All right. Beautiful. Before we switch sides, we have to go back to what we just did. So squeeze the block. Think of my 2 priorities. And if I can maintain those 2 priorities, the movement is correct for you. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze the block. I'm going to push that low back in towards the floor until I feel some tension in the abdominals. Pull my legs up 90 degrees. If I have to adjust, I'm going to adjust. I'm going to do 10 of these here. So I'm going to push that low back and that upper rib cage into the floor. I'm going to squeeze the block as much as I can. Your inner thighs and your abdominals work together. So that's why we have the block here. So here we go. Lower for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is what I was dreading the most. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Don't worry if your heels don't hit the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. One more squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Let that go. All right. Same thing left side. So I'm going to bring the left knee towards the chest. I'm going to push the low back in towards the floor. Round my shoulder blades up towards, like I'm doing a sit-up, reach my fingertips towards the bottom of the mat. Now, as I lift that right foot, I extend the leg out in front of me. I push that low back into the floor. I round up. Now, I want to think about reaching my legs in opposite directions. So I'm going to pull that left leg towards me for 10. Pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Oh, I'm dying. All right, beautiful. We're going to come up into hands and knees. Okay. So you're going to need both of your blocks for this, and we're just going to have them handy just out in front of us. So I'm going to go ahead and take my blocks and bring them to the tallest height just out in front of me, and I'm going to prop forward into hands and knees. So remember that hands and knees position. Do I turn this up? Okay, so we want to remember that hands and knees position. I want to be elbows under shoulders, and I want to take those hands and I want to turn them out a little bit so I'm having my shoulders in a very, very good and stable position. So I'm going to go ahead and prop forward into hands and knees. All right, so I'm going to turn those hands out a little bit. I'm going to spread through my fingers. My knees are going to be underneath my hips. Now I'm going to take one of my blocks and I'm going to put that in between the inner thighs. So just like we did on our back, we've learned how squeezing the block with the inner thighs allows us to feel our abdominals more. So I'm going to narrow my knees enough until I feel that block squeeze. I'm not going to dump through my shoulder blades. I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling until my upper back feels full. I'm going to curl my toes under and I'm going to hover my knees about 1/4 of an inch up off the floor. Now, chin remains slightly tucked. The back of the neck is long. Push the shoulder blades to the sky. Squeeze the block as hard as you can. Hold. Try not to let your bum jack up higher than your shoulders. Maintain a nice, stable, full upper back position. Now I'm going to squeeze the right inner thigh towards the left, and I'm going to pick those right toes up. I'm going to hold. Stay there. Keep squeezing the right inner thigh to the left. Drop those toes. Squeeze the left inner thigh in, lift those toes. Hold. Don't let your butt hike up. Keep pushing the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Good. Drop those toes. Set your knees down. Good job. Take that block. Put it out in front of you. Step forward into a lunge. Okay. So right foot right next to right thumb. Take the blocks. Put them right next to that foot. So we're going to do some hip flexor lift offs, which I find really, really, really beneficial for the hip muscles. So as I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take fists, and I'm going to put those on the blocks. Now, really important, I don't want my elbows to flare out. I want to hug them in. And what I'm going to try to do using my lower abdominals and my hip crease and thigh muscles, I'm going to try to lift my right foot up off the floor. So I'm going to do two things first. Think about the priorities. I'm going to round through the upper back. So I'm going to push down to the fists. I'm going to hollow my abdomen. And as I push down, I'm going to try to lift that right foot up off the floor. And I'm going to hold. Think about pulling the knee up towards the armpit. Hold. Good. Set down. Again, two priorities. Round, hollow, lift. Hold. Good. Step down. Good. Again, round, hollow, lift. Hold it up there. Try not to lean backwards. Keep that belly nice and hollow. Good. Now step that foot down. Pick your back leg up. Hollow your belly away from your thigh. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head so your elbows are open. Babe, can you change the camera for a sec? And Ball is just going to change the camera so you can see what my hands are doing. So my hands are behind my head. My elbows are open, but I'm not arching through my back. I'm holding my ribs in. Now what I want to think about is pushing that right foot down into the floor, lifting from the back inner thigh and opening my elbows and hold. If that right big toe comes up off the floor, you're going to lose a lot of that muscular connection. Bend deeply into that front knee. Hold for 5 more counts. Good. Now you're going to drop your hands to your blocks. Now you're going to take your blocks and you're going to flip them to the second tallest height. So they were up here. We're going to flip them to the second tallest height. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands on those blocks, just like I was about to do plank. I'm going to turn those hands out. Now I want to think about my two priorities that we just worked with. I'm going to round through my upper back. Okay, so round through my shoulder blades, hollow my belly, and now I'm going to take that foot and lift it and pull my knee forward and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now as you pull that knee forward, you're going to try to step that foot back, and I want you to be light about it, and then let your back leg extend. 2 more like that. So 2 priorities. I'm going to round through the upper back. I'm going to hollow my belly. I'm going to flip that foot up and push down and round for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step that foot. Let your chest pull forward. 1 more. Push to the upper back. Hollow the belly. Bring that foot up and hold. Pull it in for 3, 2, 1. Step the foot. Drop the back knee down. Step back and relax. Whew. Beautiful. All right. Now I have to do everything on the other side. So we're going to go back to that hands and knees position. So I'm going to go ahead and put my blocks back out in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and take a block, put it in between the inner thighs. And I'm going to do that same what's called quadruped, which is your hands and knees position. So I'm going to go ahead and set those hands back up. Adjust your wrists. Everyone's hand placement is going to be different. My hands turn out a lot. Yours may turn out less. Don't be afraid to play around with it. So I'm going to give that block a good squeeze. I'm going to create that same quadruped position. So I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the sky. I'm going to curl my toes. I'm going to hover my knees. Back of the neck long. The more you push the shoulder blades to the sky, the more you're going to get those upper back, rotator cuff, shoulder muscles involved, the less you're going to put on the wrists. I'm going to squeeze my block, especially my left inner thigh. I'm going to pick the left toes up. Hold. Your quads might be quivering when you do this. Drop those toes down. Squeeze the right inner thigh, lift those toes. Push the shoulder blades to the sky. Good. Drop those toes, hold. Set the knees down. Awesome. Block goes forward, left foot goes forward. All right. Blocks, tallest height, fists. So now I'm going to try to lift that left foot. Now, little trick, guys. The more you hollow through the spine, the more you engage the abdominals and the hip flex muscles, the easier you're going to have to lift that leg. So I'm going to do the same thing. So with my fist, I'm going to hollow through the shoulder blades and the belly. I'm going to lift that leg up. The higher, the better. Take your time. Create the tension. Set that foot down. 2 priorities. Round, lift, hold. Good. Set down. 1 more. Round, hollow, lift. Good. And set down. Now I'm going to go ahead, pick my back leg up. Try to straighten it. So the more you hover, you don't want to have it arch in the low back. So hover. Good. And you guys know your hands are going to go behind the back of your head with your elbows open. And I'm hovering over that front foot. And I want to think about 2 main things. Push down through the left big toe. Lift from the back inner thigh. Look down at that big toe. Hold the elbows open. Try to breathe in that through your nose. Okay. The key to mobility is learning how to breathe in every position. Hold there. 5 counts. Awesome. Put my hands down on my blocks. I'm going to create a little bit more tension through the upper back. So go ahead and decide. Do you want to do your palms? Do you want to do fists? Either or is fine. But the priorities still remain the same. I'm going to round through the upper back, hollow my belly, and bring my foot up and hold. Really hollow. Almost think that you're kind of looking back at that back big toe. Pull the knee forward. Now with nice control, step that foot. I want you to almost be like elegant as you step that foot forward and pull your chest. Good. Again. Round. Pull it up. Push down to your fists or your palms. Pull your knee forward. And then pull it forward and think elegant. Step that foot. Pull the chest forward. So you almost make it look like you're not having a hard time. Like it's super easy. Last one here. Round. Pull it up. Whew, hollow, hollow, hollow. Pull the knee forward and forward and forward. Elegant, step the foot. Pull the chest forward. Drop the back knee down. And relax. Whew, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sweating. If you're sweating, feel free to comment so I know I'm not the only one. I see my friend Helen said she's dying. Awesome. All right, beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to move on. So this next section, it's going to feel a little bit like cardio. Well, it's going to feel like cardio to me. I don't know about you guys. It depends on your level of tension in the body. But for me, this feels like cardio. So we're basically going to be going back and forth from a plank position to a hovering lunge position. And we're going to do this 3 times each leg, and we're going to try to do it without stopping. If you have to take breaks, I definitely encourage you to take breaks. Maybe you only join in for 1 or 2 of the 3. Well, it's actually 6 because you're doing 3 each leg. Go at your own pace. All right, we need our blocks for this one. But this time our blocks are going to go to the lowest height. This is going to be the last little bit on our hands for a little bit. So you'll get a break off your wrists after this. So blocks are going to be to the lowest height. So now I'm going to come to a plank position. All right. So I'm just going to move this down just a little. Okay. All right. So, all right. So I'm going to set my hands up like I was on hands and knees. So I'm going to still again turn those hands up. And if you guys can see, if I turn my hands forward, see how my elbows kind of point out to the side? This is rolling my shoulder joint inward. This is not the best position to be in for the shoulder and weight bearing. But notice how when I turn my hands out, you can see how my elbow bones point straight back. This is a little bit of a better position for the shoulders. All right, so I'm going to start in a plank position, which is basically that quadruped, except the legs are extended. So I'm going to go ahead and step back into plank. All right, now I want to think about 2 priorities here. Same as what we've been talking about. Push your shoulder blades to the sky, hollow your belly. That's it. Neck remains long. And those are the only 2 things I want you to think about when you're doing plank. Oftentimes when people are teaching complicated movements like this, they give you way too many things to think about. There's only 2 priorities here. If you've lost one of those priorities, the rest of it's going to be a mess. So get those 2 priorities in control. Now what you're going to do is you're going to lift your right toes. You're going to pull your knee forward. You're going to shift a little forward. You're going to push the shoulder blades to the sky. You're going to step your right foot forward in between the blocks. Drop your back knee down. Okay. Move your blocks a little bit out of the way. Maybe you have to bring your right foot a little bit wider. And I'm going to take that left knee and I'm going to put it underneath the hip. We're going to do the first one really slow. And then I'm going to rise up. So now I'm in a low lunge. Okay. So I don't want to have this back knee too far back. I want to have it right underneath. Now, priority, push that right big toe into the floor. Scoop the butt underneath you. Take your arms out in front of you. So they're right out in front of you. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to hover my back knee up off the floor for a count of 5. So I'm going to push that right big toe. And I'm going to hover my back knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knee down a little lower. Scoop the butt underneath you. Again, lift, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Last one here. Scoop the butt, lift, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Hands to blocks. Now, if you had a hard time stepping your foot in between your hands, you're going to take your blocks up taller, which is what I'm going to do because my legs are short. You'll find it easier to step your foot without using momentum to get it forward. So I'm actually going to change my blocks if you can too. So I'm going to pick my back leg up and then I'm going to step back through the plank. Step back through. And I want to use my belly muscles to step back. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Push the shoulder blades to the sky, scoop the butt underneath me. Lift the right toes, pull the knee forward, shift a little forward, push the shoulder blades to the sky, step that right foot right next to the right block, drop the back knee down. Rise up. Arms out in front of you. Scoop the butt underneath you. 3 hovering lunges. Here I go. Lift the back knee, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set down, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With control, use your front foot to lower. Again, scoop the butt, lift, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the back knee, hands to blocks. That was 2 of 3. Pick the back leg up, push the shoulder blades to the sky, step through. Nice controlled plank. 1 more. Push the shoulder blades to the sky, lift the toes, pull the knee forward, shift forward, hover, step, drop. Curl the back toes. Rise up. Arms out in front of you. Last one here on this leg, then we have to do the other. Scoop the butt underneath you, press the foot, lift, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Last one here. Scoop, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Now, if you need a break, take it. Otherwise, we're going to go straight to the left side. I look like a hot mess. All right, we're going to pick the back leg up. We're going to step through into plank. I was never one of those girls that looked pretty when exercising. All right, push the shoulder blades to the sky, scoop the butt underneath you. Get those 2 priorities in check. Left toes, lift. Knee forward, pull. Shift forward. Round, step, drop. Curl the toes. Knee, if it's too wide, put it. Arms out in front of you. Lunges, here we go. Scoop the butt, push down to the left foot, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, scoop, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, scoop, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. 1 of 3, guys. Stay with me. Hands to the blocks. Pick the back leg up. Be really light as you sweep back. Control the body. Push. Scoop. Lift left toes. Pull forward. Shift. Round. Step. Drop. You can see it's like a little sequence. Curl the back toes. Rise up. Scoop the butt underneath you, arms out in front of you. Here we go. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Scoop, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Last one. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Hands to blocks. One more round. We can do it. Pick the back leg up. Create your priorities. Push. Sweep. Hold. To your priorities. Round. Scoop. Last one here. Left toes lift. Knee forward. Shift forward. Round. Step. Back knee drops. Curl those back toes under. Rise up. Arms out in front of you. Scoop the butt. Lift. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Use that front foot. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Scoop. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Last plank. Hands to blocks. Pick the back leg up. Push the shoulder blades to the sky. Sweep through. Let's hold here for a moment. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Scoop the butt. Hold for 5, 3, 1. Set your knees down. Whew. Take a break. Very good job. I'm sweating. Awesome. All right. Give your legs a little shake. All right. Whew. I'm dying. I love this stuff though. It's so good. All right. So we're going to move on to, it's kind of like a little bit of shoulder work, a little bit of shoulder stability, but it's also going to help to stretch out the hamstrings, build some thoracic mobility, so upper back, mid back mobility. This is a really, really good one. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the first one and give you some things that might show up in your own body. Since I don't have you in front of me, I don't know how everyone's going to respond to this. So there's a few things to keep in mind with this. So you're going to go ahead and grab your blocks. So while you're taking your little break, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to use the blocks for this. So blocks are going to be to the lowest height, and I'm going to bring them wide enough that I can drop my forearms down onto my blocks, but not so wide that I feel like my elbows are hanging off the edge. And I want to have my elbows under my shoulders, and I want to have my palms together. So you're going to step back into a forearm plank position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and step back. Now I'm going to think about those same two priorities. Push the shoulder blades to the sky, scoop the butt underneath me. Now, what you're going to do from here, and for my yogis who are joining me, you're going to recognize this. You're going to walk yourself up into something called a dolphin position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my toes up to my elbows as I simultaneously push my chest through the space between my shoulders. So I've got kind of like this like V position. So I'm really pushing the chest through my shoulders. Now, for some of you, your heels will not touch the floor like me. For some of you, you're not going to be able to walk in as far. And for some of you, your knees are going to have to bend because your hamstrings are just too tight. And that's okay. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want you guys to roll forward on your head. You're not doing a headstand. You're pushing the chest back. So we've got a nice V from the elbows to the shoulders to the hips. Then I'm going to walk myself back forward into that forearm plank position. Okay, I'm going to do this 3 times back and forth without stopping. So again, I'm quite flexible in my hamstrings. I've also been doing this for a long time, so I can get my heels on the floor because I've got the ankles for it. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor. It does not matter. If your knees bend, let them. Just don't roll forward on your head. Push your chest back towards your thighs. All right, can you give this a whirl? Awesome. So we're going to try 3 without stopping. So I'm going to go ahead and take my blocks. I'm going to set my arms up. I'm going to clasp my hands together, pushing the heels of my hands together. Put my shoulders over my elbows, and I'm going to go ahead and step back, forearm plank. Now, I didn't mention we're going to hold each position, obviously. So here I am, forearm plank. I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the sky. I'm going to scoop the butt underneath me. I'm going to hold here for a moment. Get my abdomen firing. Get my big toes curled under. All right, go for it. Walk your toes up to your elbows. Push your chest back. Walk your feet in as close as you can to the body that feels comfortable for you. Push your chest back in between the space between your arms, go towards your thighs, and keep your neck long. Good. Now start to proceed to walk the toes back as you pull your chest straight forward. Forearm plank. Awesome. Push the shoulder blades to the sky. Scoop them underneath you. Hold. Good. Again, walk the toes up towards the elbows. Push the chest back in between the space between the thighs. Again, don't worry if your heels do not go flat. Push the chest through the shoulders. Keep the back of the neck long. Drive the heels into the floor even if they don't touch. And then start to walk as you pull your chest forward. Awesome. Try not to collapse with the shoulders. Push the shoulder blades to the sky. Scoop them underneath you. One more here. Good. And walk up. This is called dolphin pose. Not really sure why. Heels into the floor. Push the chest back towards the shoulders. Back of the neck long. Hold. Whew. And then walk forward. Forearm plank. And then hold there. Yes. Push your shoulder blades to the sky. Scoop them underneath you. Hold. 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 Drop the knees. Beautiful. I definitely encourage you guys practicing that one on your own. Fantastic for shoulder mobility, fantastic for spine, hamstring mobility, but also build some solid stability in the shoulders because you're bearing weight on them for an extended period of time. Awesome. All right, ooh, we have enough time. All right, so we got one last little piece here before we cool down. This is kind of the one I'm trying the most for myself. Maybe you guys will love it. So you're going to keep both of your blocks exactly where they are. I'm just going to move mine forward a little bit because we're going to be using them again. All right, so the position that you're going to come to is you're going to go ahead and stand on your knees. So we're going to do something called a kneeling leg extension. Where you're going to feel this is your quads. Everybody is going to lean back in a different place. I don't go back very far because my quads feel it immediately, but everyone's going to be different. So I'm going to have my shin bones parallel to one another, my toes pointing straight back. So my toes aren't together, they're apart. Now, for someone like me, as you can see, I've got a big low back arch. So what I need to do is I actually need to scoop my butt underneath me. So I've got a little bit more of neutrality through my spine. I want to keep my rib cage dropping and my chin slightly tucked. Now I'm going to put my hands on my thighs for this first one. Now all you're going to do, I always say when I demonstrate this, I think of the movie The Matrix. You're going to be very stealth with this. All you're going to do is you're going to start to lean your body back. And you're going to go as far as you can until you feel your quads. See, very Matrix-like. Now notice how I'm not arching my back and then come on forward. Good, so I didn't go like this. I'm not doing a back bend. I'm trying to keep the butt scooping underneath me and my rib cage down. Can we try 10 of these? Oh, yes, we can. All right, beautiful. Palms on the thighs, chin slightly tucked, so I'm almost actually looking down, ribs down, butt scooped underneath me. Go ahead, lean back. Once you feel your quads, you're good. Hold. Come on forward. Ugh. Good. Lean back. My quads are so tight. Good. Come on forward. Scoop the butt. Lean back. For 3 and forward. Good. Scoop. Lean back. For 4. Come on forward. Good. Scoop. Lean back. For 5. Come on forward. Last 5 here. Scoop. Lean back. Good. Come on forward. 4 more. Scoop. Lean back. Good. Come on forward. 3 more here. Scoop, lean back. Your quads should be dying. Come on forward. 2 more. Scoop, lean back. Don't go too far back if this hurts your knees. Feel more of the tension in the quads. Lean forward. Last one here. Scoop, lean back. Good. Come on forward. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Drop down onto your blocks, onto your forearms. Now, all that tension we created in the quads, we're going to use it here. For those of you who do struggle with knee pain, this is going to be a great knee stabilizer, great exercise for all the tendons in the knee. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my forearm bones down onto the blocks. Now you can do one of 2 ways. I actually like to bring my palms facing one another, but if you feel a little unstable, you can bring your hands together just like we did before. All right, now we're gonna come back to a hovering knees position. So I'm gonna put my knees right underneath my hips. I'm gonna push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, a little far. I'm gonna curl the toes under, I'm gonna hover my knees. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hover my right toes. And I'm gonna extend the right leg back without touching the floor. Pull it back in parallel for 1. Back, 2. Back, 3. Keep that left big toe heavy. Back, 4. Back, 5. Back, 6. Back, 7. Back, 8. Back, 9. Back, and 10. Drop those toes, drop the knees. You should have felt a lot in your left quad. Really press down through your big toes. So let's go ahead and try the other side. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Knees under hips. Push shoulder blades to the ceiling. Go ahead and hover those knees. Glue that right big toe to the floor. Lift the left toes. Extend. Pull it in. 2. Pull it in. 3. Pull it in. 4. Pull it in. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Drop the toes, drop the knees. Whew. All right, guys. Give yourself a little shake. All right. I think we've earned a cool down, but why not we throw in one last quick little piece here to build some strength, really short, and then we'll move on to our cool down. So go ahead and get your blocks out of the way. So we'll just do this together because it's pretty self-explanatory. But what's going to happen is we're going to do a plank position, but we're going to lift one hand and the opposite toes. What's going to happen is your body's going to wobble side to side, side to side, side to side. This is where all the tension you've learned how to create in your full body is going to come in handy here. You want to try to keep your chest and your belly button parallel to the floor. You want to try to avoid your hips from turning, and you want to keep tension in your belly. We're just going to do one each side, and we're going to call it quits and cool down. So go ahead and come with your hands and knees set up. So my strong hand position, spread through my fingers, push the shoulder blades to the sky, step back plank. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my feet wide, it's about mat distance apart. I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, scoop them underneath me. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my right toes. Now, keeping my chest parallel to the floor, I'm going to push the right shoulder blade to the ceiling, and I'm going to try to lift my left hand up. I'm going to hold. Woo. I'm going to drop the hand and the toes. Not easy. Push the shoulder blades to the sky, scoop it underneath you. I'm going to lift the left toes. I'm going to push the left shoulder blade to the ceiling, and then lift the right hand and hold. 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 Drop the hands, drop the toes, drop the knees. Great job. Definitely one to practice. All right, guys, let's move into a nice little cool down. We're going to come to a lizard stretch. So have your blocks handy because some of you may want to use them. So I'm going to go ahead and step my right foot towards the outer edge of my mat. The foot can be perfectly parallel. It can be turned out. I want you to go with what feels good in your hip crease. I'm going to shift my back knee back as far as it will comfortably go. I'm either going to curl or uncurl my toes. Okay. Now, for some of you, your hands will actually go flat on the floor on the inside of the foot. But I want you to think about pulling your chest forward, sinking through that left hip crease. If your spine is rounded or you're like wearing your knee, you're going to need to prop yourself up onto blocks because we want to be able to keep that spine nice and long. And we're just going to hang out here for a moment. Okay, so now I want you guys to really pay attention to your breathing, slow it down a little bit, try to find a smooth inhale in and out through your nose. Think about hugging the right inner thigh into the body as you pull your chest forward and smooth it out. You guys worked really hard. You did a great job today. Now allow your breath to reflect a sense of ease or cooling down. Good. I'm going to go ahead and curl those back toes under. I'm going to slowly proceed to shift back and step that right foot back to meet my left. Now I'm going to bring my legs together. You can do one of three things. You can either, if you're working on big toe mobility, you're going to curl the toes under and sit your hips on your heels. Or you can come to sitting your hips on your heels with your toes uncurled. Or for your third option, you can go ahead and come to a cross-legged seat, either sitting on the bum or sitting on the block. Either or is fine. I'm going to come to the big toe position because it's what I'm trying to work on. All right, and then we're just going to work a little bit of arching through the spine just to let go of any pressure we still have in our abdominals. So I'm going to go ahead and take my hands behind the back of my head. My elbows are going to remain open. I'm sitting that butt right on my heels, and I want to find a nice arch through my upper back. So I'm going to open up and arch. I'm opening my throat, looking up, and then pulling my elbows back so my chest is open. Then to come back to neutral, I go ahead and drop my ribs down. Now I'm going to add my breathing. Inhale, arch. Pull those elbows back. Out breath. Drop the ribs. One more here. Inhale, arch up and over. Pull those elbows back. Out breath. Ribs drop. Relax. Walk yourself forward and do the same thing on the left side with the lizard. So I'm going to go ahead and step my left foot now. Wherever it wants to go. If it wants to turn out, that's fine. I'm going to shift my back knee back as far as it will comfortably go. Toes will be curled or uncurled. Hands will be on the floor if I can maintain that nice long spine, or my hands will be up on blocks if I cannot. And I want to think about pulling my chest forward, sinking through that right hip crease, and really working to get a nice long upper back. And then I want to slow down my breath here. Pull that chest straight ahead. Smooth breathing. One more. Good. And I want to go ahead and curl the back toes under, shift back, take my time. Take that left leg back to meet the right, and I'm going to come back to that same position that I was in, or maybe you want to choose a different one. Maybe you want to try being up on the big toes. Maybe you want to try uncurled. Maybe you want to take a cross-legged seat. Whatever works good for you. I'm going to do 3 more of those nice little arch positions. So the hands are going to be behind the back of my head. My elbows are going to remain open. And here I go for an inhale. Inhale, arch up and over. Pull those elbows back. Out breath, ribs down. In breath, arch up and over. Elbows back. Out breath, ribs down. One more here. Inhale, arch. Elbows open. Out breath, ribs down. Great job. Go ahead and grab a block. Go ahead and come down on to your backs again. All right, so we're just going to finish up. Again, just stretching out the front of the abdomen, stretching out the hip flexors. We did a lot of kind of like shortening work today. So let's kind of release all that. So this is optional. You can stay here in constructive rest with your feet flat on the floor. If you'd like to come to an elevated or supported bridge, you go ahead and lift your hips and you'll slide your block underneath kind of the base of the tailbone. Everyone has their own sweet spot. I just want you to avoid having it on the back so your butt's hanging over the edge and you have a big arch. Slide that down. Okay, and then let the butt just kind of rest on the block. Relax the hip bones down. Relax the rib cage down. All right, good. So since we did a lot of tightening, I want to take this opportunity to kind of like unwind a little. So just staying here in the supported bridge. Let your ribs melt down. And when you're feeling ready, start to pay attention to your breathing as it moves in and out through the nose. And I really encourage you not to skip this part of class. This is super important for recovery, for balancing out the nervous system, and for our tissues. Mobility also comes from our tissues being able to be breathable and movable, and we can't just stress them all the time. We have to allow them a chance to recover. So if you're someone who doesn't really like to be still, as I never used to like to be, I really encourage you to not skip this part of class. If the block is bothering your low back at all, please get rid of it. And maybe close the eyes. Take about a minute, maybe 2, just to be here with breath. So start to follow your inhale, follow your exhale. And think about following the inhale until the very end. And then following the exhale to the very end. And if you're following the breath, you'll notice that there are these little spaces in between each breath. And those spaces are kind of these brief moments of silence. See if you can rest deep within those spaces. Let's take a few more breaths here. Feeling ready, maybe start to open your eyes again. Just come back to the room that you're in. Go ahead and lift the hips, take the block away from you, lower down. Just take a moment there to neutralize the spine. And then proceed to roll over to one side. Hang out there as long as you need. And then make your way up. All right. All right, everybody. There you go. There's your full body strength flow. Definitely not an easy class, but definitely one I encourage you to do often. We'll definitely do more of this. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them up. You can shoot me an email at jen@freeruninc.com. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this class. I was dying. Hopefully you guys were too. Other than that, repeat the class and keep working with me as I love working with you guys. If there aren't any questions, then I will see you guys next time. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you guys so much. Bye.